down as many of the basics as possible and answering questions people have. All right, red-green Eldrazi. So for those that might be standard players that are dipping in for a modern stream tonight, Magic technically has what's kind of a 6th color in colorless mana. So Thought-Knot Seer and Reality Smasher are cards that explicitly require you have a land that makes colorless mana like Blast Zone or Karplusan Forest. So this is basically a 3-color deck. It'll be interesting to see if Gruul Spellbreaker feels like it's a constructed playable card. Any thoughts on what can get the hammer going up? The update on July 8th will be no changes in all formats as far as standard or modern are concerned, and they'll reference some data that they're not going to share that we don't have access to publicly to justify why they're not making any changes in spite of what the formats look like from the outside. The Fluffy K, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So this hand has 2 3-drops in it, but I have Eldrazi Temple, which makes 2 mana for Obligator. So I think I keep this, because it's actually like turn 2, 3-power haste guy, turn 3, 3-power haste guy. And while, like, against a good modern deck, this is going to be kind of slow. Against, you know, a fair deck, this is probably fine. Yay! Flooded Strand! Woo! Flooded Strand! Right on time, Noble Hierarch. Welcome to the party. They could be Phoenix. Hopefully there's some kind of mopey control deck, though. Hopefully there's some kind of mopey control deck. If they are playing Phoenix, probably a good chance this Blast Zone cranks up to 2 to kill Thing in the Ice. Yep. I think I'm just playing these. Attack you for 5. Hopefully this doesn't flip over next turn. Fingers crossed. No Manamorphose to start bodes well for our hero. If they flip this turn, we're probably not going to be able to kill it before it kills us. If they flip, we kill them. No, this is a cast trigger, Bob. This is a cast trigger. I'm unsurprised that you don't know what this card does, though. And before a mass unban of this announcement, a mass unban would be great. Oh, it'd be in our hand. Yeah, good call. Good call. So, buttons on your underwear. I can actually cast this and still crank this up this turn, right? Is Stoneforge Mystic still too powerful for Modern? No, it's probably never too powerful for Modern. Hot take. Yay, tribal haste creatures. This is like 3 power with haste tribal. What are we most excited for out of M20? The cycle of 5 mana creatures that have an enters play and dies trigger seem potentially really sweet, especially because if they get bounced by Teferi, they do something. I really wish that cycle of creatures was leaves play, so that way it would trigger, they would trigger when Teferi bounces them, but maybe that would make them too good. Hey, I'm a Mr. Jojo. Thank you for the 3/4 of your support. I appreciate you keeping me around. Welcome. We see a blue-red sword deck in the future. There's a Grixis Thopter Foundry deck that's been doing well. It top-8'd the Open, I believe. I don't know if it top-8'd the Grand Prix. How many birds you got? How many birds you got? We could kill them on the backswing here, huh? Oh gosh. Do you know what's really funny? We're not going to kill them on the backswing unless we need to draw a green or a red source. Because this will heal them. Ooh, that'll do 2 pig, right? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Bouncing your own thing's a problem. Look at that. Red Rover, let Awoken Horror come over. Legacy is objectively more fair than Modern Thopter Gifts. I don't even think there's a thinks about it there. Legacy is objectively more fair. So I think I want these explosives for killing Thing in the Ice. Lightning Bolt seems pretty mediocre here. I think Relic is fine. I don't know if I actually want Grafdigger's Cage in this matchup. How do we feel about that one? Ugin I could actually take or leave, because like killing a 7/8 is kind of important. I kind of don't mind one Ugin. I feel like I never want to draw my second cage. How do we feel about this? We cut bolts and we bring in cage, relic, double explosives. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like there's going to be certain boards where 6 mana Doomblade sign me up. I think I like this. I'm going to give people a second to comment, but I think this seems reasonable. You think Modern will ever be popular again? I mean, are Modern events not putting butts in the seats? Is there metrics that show Modern's not still popular? Modern is effectively competitive casual Magic. It's a format where they have their deck that they love. Like, take this one, for example, right? Like, this deck is by no means the best deck in the format, but you can play it, you can win some games with it, and if you love casting the cards Bloodbraid Elf and Eldrazi Obligator, this is the deck for you. Reality Smasher. Legacy, by the definition of the reserved list, can never be more than a fringe format. Just like, guaranteed to never do that much. Steric, thank you for the 9 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Pretty easy mulligan there. Scry me a river, baby. As much as I would like that witch member there, I need a green source. Have two turns to draw a green source to get turn 3 4-drop. The depth in Modern shifted more towards deck construction than playing the deck. You know, honestly, and this is, I know I've been talking about Underlords a lot, but a big part of why the Underlords game, I think, is so much fun. Hey, Scotty, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of people you can send that to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for paying my bills this month with that. The thing that makes the Underlords game really sweet, and I think appeal to a lot of players, is it's a game where you, like, just get to build the deck, basically. Like, it's very similar to, like, deck building board games, which are a lot of fun. You build the deck, and then the computer actually plays it for you. So you just get to do the fun part. And we're dead. Yeah, if you enjoy Brainstorm or Chalice of the Void decks, or like really sweet cheesy decks like Reanimator, Legacy's got a lot going on for it. Now this, chat, this is what I'm talking about. This is the Eldrazi deck. It speaks to me. Now, something that's probably going to come up here, so I would like to point it out before someone suggests it. The awkward wording on Eldrazi Temple here says spend this mana only to cast Eldrazi spells or activate Eldrazi abilities. Now, what this means is that this will not pay 2 mana for Eldrazi Obligator's triggered ability, because this is not an activated ability, it's a triggered ability. So we are unable to Obligator something with Obligator Temple Grove of the Burnwillows. These cards don't do a whole lot, huh? I think I just take their Arclight Phoenix here. Sure. All right. Now I gotta think for a second. I just Witchmember this, right? Do I have something for Arya? Yeah, killing them before it's relevant. Attacking for a lot. I mean, I'm not going to argue from a design standpoint, but from a functional, how the rules of Magic work, that's definitely how it works. All right, dear opponent, please don't kill me from 26. That's true. When Temple was printed, there were no Eldrazi with triggered abilities that cost mana. Factual. I unfortunately did not get any Reiku yesterday, but I think I already have one. I think I have all the dogs. I got a bunch of the legendaries. What are my thoughts on Magmatic Sinkhole? It seems pretty reasonable overall. Succulent, let me fix that for you. What's the occasion we see this over here? Really hoping for some Underlord action now. If there's we're definitely playing Underlords this evening. Burn Pit. Let me change the stream title. Fuck that. I'm gonna play some sub games. I'm taking, so tomorrow is the pre-release day. Tomorrow is the pre-release day for people Wizards of the Coast likes for Magic Arena. So I'm not streaming, because if I were to stream something, it wouldn't have M20 cards. So go watch great people who have access to M20 cards. Day 9 should be on. Mapamonte should be on. Marty Punkers, longtime sub here. So there'll be a number of streams linked in the community streams channel in the subs Discord. So I'm taking tomorrow off, so I decided to come on tonight. Yeah, I believe Matt's going to be playing in it. Got shot. Rude. Oh, you know, maybe I'm supposed to fetch Shock there. It's tough. So, if you're not familiar with my opponent's Mono Red Phoenix deck, they're basically a burn Arclight Phoenix deck, so I kind of want to conserve my health total, but having access to more green mana is better with my Scavenging Ooze. Hey, Cohen, thank you for the 12 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Well, so for people that aren't familiar with like what WotC's been doing with Arena, the thing that's happening tomorrow, basically anyone who streams like almost any amount of Magic Arena gets in, from my understanding. It's just, you know, WotC has to just explicitly not have a problem with you. And thank you for the tip, Moniz. I appreciate that. I assume that's for the sideboard guide. Pulling up my dashboard now. Yeah, perfect. Oh, I guess something I should mention, if you're someone who is thinking about picking up glasses with my code, not to rush you, because it might not matter, but my current link that I have for the glasses is going to be no longer valid at the end of the month. One of the advertising company I had been working with to get some Twitch deals like that has unfortunately, they are going out of business. So all of my referrals that I have with them are going to no longer be valid. Won't allow me to stream with the new set. So for the TLDR on my relationship, or lack thereof, with Wizards of the Coast is when the whole Mythic Invitational thing happened, and they didn't invite me, even though I'm one of the bigger Magic streamers, right? Like top 5 or top 10 or whatever on any given month, depending on where things are at and how much I'm working. And I actually had a phone call with the Wizards of the Coast representative where they told me point blank that the feedback that I elicit makes me a liability to work with. So that is why they choose not to work with me. Which is fine. That's their prerogative, right? They're a for-profit company. They can do as they please. It's not really a big deal. The community is the one that pays my bills. I wouldn't be here din and day out without my subs. So, once upon a time, the streamer event was only best of one, because if you recall, we didn't have best of 3 direct challenge. And they were very upset that I declined to play their event that was only best of 1, apparently. Yeah, they gave the specific example that they cited was I had posted a tweet that said I was disappointed in an event that they offered. That language was unacceptable. Which I found really funny, because like I've been more than a little bit obnoxious in a number of spots in my career streaming. So like to point out a tweet that's as tame as me saying I'm disappointed with something, I found especially petty. Yeah, I agree, Hangman. Ooh, Spellbreaker. So they have no cards in hand right now. Do they have anything that flashes back in their graveyard? They don't, right? What if I just give this haste and smack them? Because they only have 4 power in play. My sync is still running. The sync takes a little while in TJ Succulent. I just forced it to run a manual sync. It should pop up in a little bit for you. I think I want to just cast this. I think I just want to haste this. Like, obviously we're casting. I think I want to haste it and smack them. It's funny. So we haven't played Standard on Moto, obviously, because it's Moto and not Arena. I think that's the first time, tonight's the first time I've ever used the Riot interface on Moto. Now, obviously, any instant or sorcery kills a Seer, and they do get 2 draws at it, so maybe this is a little bit risky, but I do like risking it for the biscuit. That's close. I could maybe see an argument for making this a 4/4. Maybe. Yeah, no, I don't know, Prince. Tis not mine to wonder why. At the end of the day, it sucks a little bit to miss out on some opportunities, but ultimately, like, I still get to do this as my job, so it's too hard to complain about too much. I live a fairly charmed life. How many Grafdigger's Cage do I want? I don't know that I want that many Grafdigger's Cage. I guess Eldrazi Obligator's pretty bad against the Lava Dark deck. Actually, I probably want all the cages because of Lava Dark. Yeah, same. Fatal Roundhouse, same. Honestly, in my opinion, the worst part about their flub with the historic format is that if Standard ends up sucking through the summer still, I just can't play Arena, right? Because, like, I have no interest in playing Limited. I have no interest in playing Singleton or whatever other silly formats they shove in. So, like, I was hoping, and, like, if Standard, like, isn't good after rotation, it's just, like, Moto's my only option to, like, play Pauper and Modern and Legacy. Like, I wanted to be able to play different formats of Magic on Arena, because Arena is a really awesome piece of software for playing Magic on. But if Standard isn't passable, I can't play it. It's useless to me. It's an okay draw. Probably going to make this a 4/4 this game. Turtle up a little bit. You should Underlords also get an MPL invite. Honestly, and it's funny, the biggest part of the whole MPL mess that's awkward is that, like, nobody knows how to get in, right? And, like, there's probably a good chance that Wizards doesn't even know how people get into the MPL. That's why they haven't announced anything for next year. Now, Soul Scar Mage here is real awkward, because it means even though Bolt doesn't kill this, it makes it a 1/1, which sucks for us. Play a sub-commander game. I don't think so. That sounds like playing multiplayer on Moto's interface is real clunky and awkward. How does Valve make money from Underlords? Currently, they don't. Eventually they'll sell cosmetic items. The same way they monetize Dota 2. That was a brutal show of efficiency from the opponent there. All right, onward, upward, backward, forward. At least matches with this deck are always quick either way. You're either smashing or getting smashed. Yeah, my opponent dealt 19 damage to us by the 3rd turn of the game. Welcome to Modern. Enjoy your stay. It's like par for the course. Yeah, 3+3, 6-turn format. Easy game, easy life. You know, it's funny, I had been stressing a small bit because my numbers have been really bad the last couple of weeks and kind of this month as a whole. And I thought it was largely related to Standard being bad. But Savitz had tweeted, and Caleb chimed in that he agreed that apparently June is just, like, the worst month consistently for streaming on Twitch in terms of, like, viewer metrics and all those things. Just a mixture of summer and people taking vacations and stuff like that. Still learning all the ins and outs of doing this as a job. All right, Lightning Bolt, you have one job now, upstairs. People going outside. Listen, people, the outside is dangerous. Yeah, some of the swings on Twitch Prime can be brutal as a content creator. Like, don't get me wrong, Twitch Prime is ultimately free money that I wouldn't have for a lot of people, but, like, think I just tasted this here. It was 102 for me outside today. Yeah, when I went to the gym this morning, my car thermometer said 99. All right, I cast standard staple Gruul Spellbreaker. My opponent's gonna have 7 mana next turn. Let's see what they do with it. What do you think? Who wins? Standard staple Gruul Spellbreaker, 7 mana Audatron. Yeah, I could probably not Nox and I chat. I chat with a lot of the big MTG content creators, and honestly, I think Martin Yuza is the only big content creator who I follow, who I've seen say things that are explicitly good about this standard format. Like all the other content creators I know are like, these play patterns suck and this is miserable. Do they not have a bomb? Is my opponent just the unluckiest Tron player in the world? Well, this just means that my opponent is gonna fetch a tower and then cast Ulamog next turn. That's what this means, right? They're gonna Ulamog me next turn. Ooh, maybe we can find an Obligator. Smashy, smashy. Yeah, we're gonna get Ugin, exactly. Yeah, the streaming modern market on Moto is going to be a little bit more saturated with MPL players. If they have Ugin, we kill them with a land, right? If they have Ugin, a land is lethal next turn. Because we bolt them and then slam Reality Smasher. Yeah, I agree, TF. And honestly, the biggest disappointment to me of Standard being bad right now is the fact that it means that the play design team might not have actually helped, and it was just a fluke that Standard was good the last 2 formats. Because, like, that had me genuinely very excited for Magic, like, what the play design team could potentially do. But, like, if it was only good by a fluke, it's like... Land! Puppy! Someone call the police. There's been a robbery. This reminds me of playing Bant Eldrazi. Just like hitting people with Reality Smasher. It's just cathartic. You're just like, get him. Get him. Did most of the play design team either leave or get promoted to their tasks? No, they've rotated a lot of people through. And, like, the original play design team almost certainly worked on this whole start of the format. Like, they design and test Magic sets really far out. Alright, we got a couple Crumble to Dust here. A couple Unravel the Aether. Dismember's pretty bad. Ugin's pretty bad. Scavenging Ooze is pretty bad. Bring in 1 Abrade, I guess. Actually, do I want Pithing Needle? Pithing Needle for Oblivion Stone's probably pretty good, right? Do I want 2 needles? Unsure. I mean, and like the biggest thing is, like, people are saying, how could you expect a Planeswalker set to not be a mess? The only thing that's a mess about this Planeswalker set are 2. There's like 20 Planeswalkers, right? And 2 of them are issues. And even Narset is not as big an issue as Teferi. Like, she's annoying, but she's not, you can't play at instant speed annoying, at least, right? So, like, they got 36, sure. So they got it very close to reasonable. I think I'd rather have my 4th bolt than a 2nd needle. Yeah, that's true, too. Narset also doesn't go up. It goes down, and then it's done. Alright, sign me up. Turn 1 Hierarch, turn 2 Obligator, attack for 4, turn 3 Bloodbraid Elf, attack for 6. I agree. I agree with Bob's statement. Taking risks is good. In my opinion, if they don't have to occasionally ban things in Magic, that means not enough risks are being taken by the design team. But at the same time, I also wish they were more proactive about managing things that are pretty obviously issues. That's incredibly rude. Yep, yeah, I agree, Lord. And we've talked about that too, right? Like, Teferi was an attempt to fix the mistake that was Wilderness Reclamation, and in doing so, they made a bigger mistake. Much like the MPLJW, I would bet WotC still doesn't really know what they want to do with the Hogok deck. Still trying to figure it out. See, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Actually, there are 37 walkers. The box stopper is just unplayable. God bless. Ooh. It's a darn shame they killed my Birds of Paradise, and they're going to do something really scary next turn, and this card's too late. But, you know, Crumble the Dust is, like, nice to look at. It's a nice idea, even if it's not going to win us this game. %62% of the SCG Day 2 decks were Faithless Looting decks. Them's brainstorm numbers, folks. Them's brainstorm numbers. Yeah, you can Ancient Stirrings into Crumble the Dust, because this card's devoid. So, Panza, I fundamentally disagree with what you said there. So Panza said, Cry of the Canarium was over the top for what Esper Control should have been able to do, in my opinion. I actually think a big part of the issues with the with Esper Control past Teferi is that they gave Esper Control an unconditional sweeper. I think the big issue with what happened is that the Kaya's Wrath, they kill all the creatures for just 4 mana. I think sweepers like sweepers like Cry and Ritual of Soot, sweepers that are conditional in different ways that you can play around them, tend to be very good. And if you want a sweeper to be completely unconditional, it should cost 5 mana to give the aggro decks a real chance. Alright, I don't know that I can ever beat the Thragtusk that's in their hand, let alone the Swarm Coil, so... Yeah, actually, Crimson, we were talking about that earlier. I'll probably post a tweet and an announcement. I actually already had someone submit 1 Pauper deck. I think I'm going to take 2 more. I think 3 is a probably good sample size to see how popular the format's going to be. We'll give it a fair shake since there might be some renewed interest in it. Okay. Alright, that takes Swag Dad. That takes Swag Dad. They drew a Karn Great Creator, however. I can at least attack that one. Maybe I'm supposed just to attack them here. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to attack them and take 5. If they Karn and downtick... If they Karn and downtick, I can bolt it. So, one kind of sweet piece of technology. The artifact hate card, or artifact and enchantment hate of choice in the sideboard past Abrade is Unravel the Aether. which shuffles the target into its owner's library. So not only does this get past Welding Jar as a regeneration effect, but this also will not trigger the dies text on Wormcoil Engine. So if we can find it Unravel the Aether, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I totally should have attacked with this last turn. All right, what are you getting? Walking Ball, sure. So how do we feel about drawing the best card in our deck? How does that make us feel? Take a little pause there as we read the card that's about to punish their dumpster. That was a read the card pause right there. I might have lied here, chat. I said that Crumble the Dust wasn't going to be good enough. It might be good enough on the back of these other draws. Yeah, just remember before if you ever want to attempt to do what I do here at home yourself, please keep in mind that I traveled the country playing this children's card game semi-professionally for years before attempting this. I am in fact a trained professional, just not at this. Hey, Anxious Hippo, thank you for the 6 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So now the question is, do I want to Bloodbraid this turn? I think I just do that now. So let's think for a second. If I Spellbreaker and attack, that's 7, they go to 9, and then Bloodbraid finishes them next turn. If I play Thought-Knot Seer, I attack them to 12, and then Bloodbraid's not lethal. So I think I would like to Spellbreaker this turn, because I know their hand right now is Nature's Claim Ulamog. So I think I want to put them dead to the Bloodbraid next turn. So that's actually a good question. So Bloodbraid's the same damage as Spellbreaker, but by holding the Bloodbraid in my hand here, if my opponent draws a Wormcoil Engine, the Bloodbraid allows me to cascade into my second Unravel to get rid of Wormcoil. It could also cascade into Lightning Bolt to clear a Thragtusk as a blocker. So while it's less mana efficient to play the Spellbreaker this turn, leaving myself the ability to cascade next turn I think is worthwhile, because it punishes certain draws from my opponent, or lets us catch back up against draws they could have. All right, look at that. Like I said, win, lose, or otherwise, this deck's pretty quick. Hasty boys and girls are a good time. Hulk smash. In. How do I feel this compares to Bant Eldrazi? It's more aggressive. They're both probably fine. I wonder, I didn't consider the mana base for this. I kind of just copy and pasted this afternoon when I was buying decks. It's probably worth trying Prismatic Vista in this deck. Like, there should probably be a basic waste and 4 Prismatic Vistas, I think. Like, cut the Stomping Ground and the 2 Wooded Foothills. Then, maybe a Blaststone or maybe a Karplusan Forest. That's a good draw. Or, sorry, you probably want to cut Grove before you cut Forest, because this is an aggro deck. Giving your opponent life for your aggro deck is not great. It looks like you made changes to the deck. What made you cut the Domries? I don't think so. The list you linked me. I changed the sideboard. You linked me this. That was the link you gave me via the forum. Oh, you know what? So the link you gave me is just the generic deck page on MTG Goldfish. So this is just like the latest version, the latest list of this archetype that posted a 5.0. That's what it is. So if you wanted a specific one, you need to click into a specific one when you link it next time. Spellbreaker, Eldrazi Obligator. Alright, Bolt Kicker's fine. Hopefully we draw a land next turn and get to Smusher them. It's basically red-green haste friends, is what this deck is. It's a good time. We are fortunate to not hit Dismember there. But I guess there's only one other Dismember in our deck, so not too fortunate. Only one real bad hit. Yikes. Yikes. Oh. This is the part where they Supreme Verdict us next turn. Who's got 2 thumbs and concedes to a sweeper? This guy right here. If they don't play a sweeper, I'm probably dismembering a soldier at the end step. I don't really have anything better to do. Hey, Bug Helper, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Why are we committing into the sweeper? Can I beat the sweeper? Like if I hold this Scavenging Ooze and they cast a sweeper this next turn, if I hold both of these and they cast a sweeper next turn, do you think I'm winning? There's games decks like this can beat sweepers, and there's games where they can't. This is definitely one where they can't. Yeah, butt cheek status is clenched. No, I disagree with you. I disagree with your assessment that if I ripped a temple, I would have a chance. Don't attack. Don't attack. Oh, they're missing a land drop. That's good for me. Alright, Dismember's not getting much better than this, so kill your thing. Do-do-do-do-do-do. When do we get London Mulligan and MTGA? Tuesday. Tuesday is not only a new set to hopefully bring hope to Standard, but it is also the London Mulligan, which is super exciting. Hasty Squad is go. I repeat, the Hasty Squad is go. Man, am I glad they didn't click us during our draw step. This attack would be way worse. So they're going to trade with Bloodbraid and Obligator here. I guess they might trade with Scavenging Ooze. Like trade with Scavenging Ooze Obligator. Yeah, they're digging for their land for sure. Which is not good news for the home team. They bottomed the very powerful Teferi Hero of Dominaria. Hopefully, we're not going to get to a point in any of these games where that card matters. There's another Smasher on top, so it didn't matter. There's somebody who's seen this stream before. All right. Who's got 2 thumbs and concedes to a Wrath? This guy right here. They're at 7. Maybe we can play through the Wrath. Maybe. 4 mana unconditional sweepers. 4 mana unconditional sweepers. Sign me up. And they bottomed a Teferi, so I assume they have some other kind of bomb in their deck here. It is a neat island, I agree. Yep. What a completely reasonable and beatable card. All right, so there are plenty of creatures, so I can make this a 6/6. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with this to start, because they probably don't block, because I can save it. Feds D, thank you for the 16-month resub, I appreciate it. Or they just jump. So by playing the Thought-Knot Seer post-combat, I get to kill a soldier token for free here, basically. I think the island looks incredibly out of place. I think it's beautiful, but I think it does not look like a Magic card. Another thing to note here, I was talking about the possibility of Prismatic Vista earlier. Having a Prismatic Vista in this deck would mean my opponent can't Field of Rune me off of colorless mana. And the way this mana base is currently constructed, they can do that. We're surgically extracting my Bloodbraid Elf. Sure. Modern is completely reasonable and healthy. Surgically extract your Bloodbraid Elf game 1. Yep. What you got? Huh? I like how they played the surgical in response, as if that could possibly be the card I would pick out of these cards. I think it's right to take the Narset there. I mean, like, in my opponent's defense, like, Bloodbraid Elf is like 1000% my best draw in this spot, right? Yeah, like, the fact that they're about to field me off my color here, they know I don't have a basic waste, so I'm out of colorless mana. So it, like, cuts me off of a lot of my good draws at this point. I don't think it matters, Tom. I mean, regardless of which card I took, I could no longer win the game. In the Underlord's channel 0, under the other game section. So Pithing Needle in, extra Ugin in. Unravel the Aether, probably fine. I think this is better than... Nah, Relic's probably fine. There's Snapcaster Mage deck. See, win, lose, otherwise, quick smashy experience. This is match 4. We're currently 2-1. We're down a game here. We're going to wrap this match up and then play the last one. And then we're going to transition over to some Dota Underlords. We're going to play some sub games this evening. If you're interested in getting a chance to jam with us this evening, make sure you're in the subscriber Discord and looking at the Underlord channel. I'll post the game card in there. It's the first game will be first come, first serve, and then the subsequent games will be first come, first serve for people that haven't gotten a chance to play yet. That JJ, thank you for the 12-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Really unfortunate this doesn't make red mana, because it means that I can't play this on turn 2 if I play Stirrings on 1. I think I lead on this forest and cast Stirrings here. Does it have Haste Burgle? Which, what cantrips itself on draw? Which card is that? I'm drawing a blank offhand. Yeah, Burgle, this is tribal haste creatures. Come on now. Any chance shooting Flooded Strand there? Not with the Flooded Strand already in their graveyard. It's possible I should have let on this before the stirrings, just in case we could get them if they messed up. Well, our hand is kind of poop, chat. Our opponent's effectively at 9, maybe 6. Yeah, I don't know why the manual sync's not working. Discord must be having issues this evening. Now, even though our hand's pretty bad here, having double bolt could let us steal if we like, hit another haste creature and they tap out for something silly. Yeah, if you subscribed after 7 o'clock, it looks like 7 p.m. was the last time it sunk. It says the last sync time was 6:53 p.m. So anyone who subscribed between 6:53 p.m. and now will not see it in their connections. Oust. We've been ousted. Smusher, please. All right. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, my opponent's gonna path this and discard a card, which shuffles my obligator. If this hits them, I have 2 bolts. Oh, it connected. Oh, it connected. Someone had asked me earlier how this compares to Bant Eldrazi, and the fact that this deck doesn't get to play Cavern of Souls in its mana base feels like a bit of a letdown, especially with blue-white control on the up and up in this format. So, I'm actually going to pay 2 here to untap my bird, because if I make red with Grove, these bolts aren't lethal, because this gains them 1, whereas this can make red that doesn't gain them a life. What's going on, Sir Phil? Thanks for keeping me around. I basically like spent these 2 mana to filter into a red that doesn't gain them life. Kill you. What reason do we have to not go for an end step when they had 2 mana? Force of negation. Force of Flusterstorm would have been bad there for us, that's true. Force of negation doesn't work, is free on our turn, but not on their turn. So, the Caverns, you could play Cavern over Blast Zone. I was actually saying, Burgle, I think this deck should probably play a basic Waste and Prismatic Vistas. Like, I think, like, you cut these 3 and, like, 2 Groves for, like, a Waste and 4 Vistas. Maybe you cut Blast Zone for Cavern too. I like getting a basic Waste in the mana base, because basic Waste makes us better against Field of Ruin, and blue-white's one of the premier decks in the format. Well, I bolt there instead of after Upward Elf, so I really wanted to lose to a Flusterstorm. Is there reasoning to put in Dismember against their Angel package? Yeah, they only have 1 or 2 Angels at most, and they're not going to draw them most games, so I feel like the probability of us drawing a Dismember when they have an Angel versus when they don't is pretty bad. So I'd rather just not have a Dismember that's going to be blank in my deck, especially when I'm like spinning Bloodbraid wheels. Yeah, I can DM you the code, Succulent. Can you just post in chat to remind me? Sorry, this thing's not working. Yeah, it's just sitting there spinning for whatever reason. Why do people play Colonnade? Colonnade's one of the best decks in the format right now. Alright, well, I think we're just like Stomping Grounds. 3-power haste creature. Attack for 4. Hagak has made fair decks better than they have been since Splinter Twin was legal in Modern. I do not think Standard will be less miserable with M20. I think if you don't like what Standard's doing right now, you're probably not going to enjoy M20. Which is sad. That being said, maybe I missed something, because I definitely missed how miserable Teferi was going to be, so maybe there's something else hiding out that I've missed. Oh, look, another Reality Smasher. Do 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 beep 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 beep. Well, I mean, the Guildgate does mean they can potentially sweep us next turn, but I've got my trusty friend the Lightning Bolt here. Snapcaster Mage, sure. This is actually a heads up play on their part, because it means that they're not dead to Bolt after they sweep the board here. This play means they're not dead to Bolt. It does, however, let the Kessig Wolf Run Birds of Paradise kill them, though. That's a Field of Ruin. It's a pretty good one. So looking for a hasty boy or girl here. Wizard of the Coast is almost certainly not going to ban anything in Standard. Their statement about the historic format stated point blank that they think the current Standard format is healthy. Like verbatim. In the designers at Wizard of the Coast opinion, the current Standard format is healthy. Blue life gain cards, 2 mana gates 1. Yep, sounds about right. Do you have the Supreme Verdict or not? Alright, so I think I just popped the Relic here. It's like looking for a haste threat. That'll do 2 big. That'll do 2. Haste Tribal! Also, the artwork on this card is just stunning. Alright, 3-1. 3-1 with the Hasty Squad. Yeah, I think my only real comment on the deck so far is that I'd like to try Prismatic Vista. The rest seems like pretty reasonable. Gruul Spellbreaker has been serviceable. I'm hesitant to call this card good, but it's been serviceable. Wumping Fosters, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for sending that my way this month and keeping me employed here. Yeah, it is just another haste threat in Tribal Haste Creatures deck. Sure. It is currently 9 o'clock in the evening, but I'm taking tomorrow off, so I can like run late tonight and take a nap tomorrow if I want to. Serviceable in my jargon basically means like ultimately this card's not constructed modern playable on its own, but when you like mix it well with these other cards that are similar to it, it's like kind of being okay. All right, this opponent's taking a second. I'm gonna microwave some food. I'll be right back. For those of you who aren't from America, 9 o'clock means it's time for second dinner. And for those of you who are American, you understand. You don't need an explanation. I like the second breakfast stack. Not quite. Not quite. Huh? Do I want to dismember this? I don't think I do. I want to just cast this. It could be Merfolk. I mean, they could be some kind of spicy changeling deck. All right, so I think we do this, because if we hit a temple, we can smasher them. I'm not sure why they didn't attack there. No, I would assume no attack there means that they plan to block my 3/1. It wouldn't make sense for them to not attack and then not block. And I think I'm okay with the trade. I could just attack with this as a 3/3 or 6/6, and maybe that's better. Maybe that's better. GG. Hey. Rafflethak. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for keeping me employed here this month with that. Yep. Dismember definitely just great as a removal spell. How long is it looking like until Underlords? This is the first game of match 5, right? Yeah, first game of match 5, so probably not much longer if we just run them over again. OVER. To bring in a couple of Abrades and a couple engineered explosives. I trim a Thought-Knot Seer. They're probably an Aether Vial deck that plays to the board pretty quickly. I think I'd rather have the rest of my hasty threats than this. Yeah, this deck's definitely sweet. Ooh, that's true, Benson. We had the ability to play our own Force Negation and chose not to. Our hand's pretty bad here. Mulligan to 5, not a whole lot we can do about it. Hey, Kern Kid, thank you for the brand new, they're the 2-month resub there. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think we had a new sub in there too. Did I say One Woodfall? Welcome, and thank you for the Twitch Prime. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday night. For my regulars, I am going to be off tomorrow, Monday. There's going to be a lot of great streamers streaming some M20 content on the preview stream. So feel free to check them out. They are actual factual merfolk, huh? They've got some weird ones in it. They've got Deputy and they've got Green Man. I wonder if they're collected company merfolk. What are the odds they're Coco merfolk? Like, we saw the Changeling and Deputy as white cards. I'm like trying to think about green cards they could have. Blast Zone looking pretty dope, as the kids would say here. Ready and willing to clean up some 2-drops. Like holding up a counterspell here. It smells like a counterspell. You know, I probably shouldn't have played the Blast Zone. Ah, yeah, it could be Tricky Dick. Tricky Dick's a good call. I think I want to trade this 1-for-1 here. My Blast Zone gets a lot worse if they have an Aether Vial in play. I also shouldn't have exposed this to Spreading Seas this turn. I should have played Lightgrove over the Burnwillows here. Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah, it's a lot of land draws. We're just going to go ahead and crank Blast Zone up here. Blast Zone sitting on the table on 2 should force them to pace themselves a little bit, which is nice. Won't be able to just, like, flood the board with Lords and Friends. Now, one of the tough parts about this deck that we're playing is, like, we mulliganed, and this deck doesn't really have any source of card advantage in it. Like, Bloodbraid Elf is our only real, like, 2-for-1. Yep. Yeah. Best source of card advantage. Killing your opponent while they have cards in their hand, right? And, like, this, like, Blast Zone is a 2-for-1 here, but in reality, this drew a card, right? So it's like, it's not really. Would love to find a big, beefy blocker here. Thought-Knot Seer would be great. Would let us, Oh, I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. Our Ancient Stirrings have not been great. Would Ancient Tomb be too busted in Modern? Yes. We didn't get rid of 5 bad draws. There was a Bloodbraid Elf and a Dismember that we went past on those cards. So, like, this deck has a number of spells that Ancient Stirrings doesn't hit that are, like, good spells. I'll just go ahead and do this. So, quick note here on management of health total as a resource. You'll note that I elected to take the hit there and then blow that up at the end of their turn. The reason why I sequenced in that manner was because I wanted to... I wanted them to have a clean board at the end of the turn. So that way they can't attack me next turn. Now, if I save my health total and blow it up inside of combat, they would have been able to deploy, like, say, Master of the Pearl Trident here in their main phase 2 and then be able to attack with it the following turn. We're in a pretty bad spot here. I would be very surprised if we win this game based on how poorly we've drawn. That being said, we're up a game, so we'll get to take game 3 on the play, hopefully. I like this compared to Bant Eldrazi. It's more aggressive, which is really nice. Get to really lean on into the hasty Eldrazi stuff. I don't know if I'm sold on this card being good. They boarded in Collector Ophi. Interesting. Explosives. Blast Zone. Reality Smusher. Okay. I mean, like, as far as live draws go. Oh, EE doesn't work with Ophi. That's true. All right. I mean, I was just talking crap about this Kessig Wolf Run, but it might steal us the game next turn because our opponent's not playing around it. Don't deputy me, bro. Don't path to exile me. Just play idiot creatures. Yeah, idiot creatures. Oh! They have a Merfolk Mistbinder. That's sweet. CO Twitch, thank you for the 10 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think we're dead. Does Obligator let me win? Is Obligator lethal? I don't think so. Obligator might be lethal here. I take 1. They block 3. They take 6, 7, 8. I think I'm 1 short on Obligator being lethal. Well, they have a path to exile and it doesn't matter. Alright, so this is +4. So I have to block. And then I'm dead on the backswing. We put up a real fight for the fact that, like, we drew almost nothing but lands this game. Get to take the 3rd game on the play here, hopefully. The best way to make a card good is if Jeff talks back about it. They'd only take 7 with the Obligator, right? They'd take 8, because it would be 3, 3, and then block here. Or no? Yeah, maybe the Obligator was lethal there. Sure, but the Obligator attacks too, Tom. So we'd be attacking with like a 3-3, a 3-3, and a 2-2. And they'd only have 1 blocker. Yeah. And then none of my things do anything here in terms of killing them, right? So I can pump up the jam on here and like trample over. But I'm still gonna be dead on the backswing to these 2 because I'm at 3. If I +4 this, it will be 9. -4 is 5, and then we'll go 2-4. Close game considering how we mulligan 2-5 that game and then didn't really draw any spells. Take the next one on the play here. Do I want to change how I sideboarded? I'm not sure that I do. I think I'm pretty content. Let's run it back. Take it back now, y'all. Reverse, 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 reverse. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and dive on into some sub-games in Dota Underlords. If you haven't seen Dota Underlords before, it's one of the new auto chess or auto battler genres by Valve. It's completely free to play and fully cross-platform Windows, Linux, OS X, iOS, Android. At least you had huge tracts of land to start your real estate business. Thank you for the very generous tier 3 sub, Pokemon Nerd. I appreciate you keeping me around. Evening Jin. Alright, let's do it. We've not seen Tricky Dick. Mr. Nixon has not made an appearance. This is turn 2, attack for 4, turn 3, attack for 6, possibly more with Bloodbraid Elf. Yep. Hoping to find a... Oh, huh. Is this Merfolk Trickster? I think this is Merfolk Trickster, Diddle the Noble Hierarch. Last game till Underlord Stauber. Almost certainly not Rex. This is game 3, so if you're gonna want to try and get in on the first sub game. Oh, it lost Exalted. That's so sad. That's so sad. It lost Exalted. Good news is that the Bloodbraid will be rolling on into town next turn, which is nice. I bought a new Switch controllers. When I opened the box, there were 2 left halves. What? Brutal. You can see a Silver Girl light up here. We're in a pretty okay spot. We need to draw like one more spell, I think. One to two more spells. If this Bloodbraid Elf hits well, that would be great. Unfortunate that we're short mana to be able to Bloodbraid Elf plus pay for an Obligator this turn. Because again, Eldrazi Temple cannot make 2 mana towards an Obligator trigger. That's not the spell I wanted for Christmas. I would like to kill that one. I would like to attack for 6. What's going on, Maris? Good evening. Rawr. Alright, the rest of our hand is pretty garbage here, but we're in an okay spot in play. We've got a lot of good ones in on the top of our deck. Another Bloodbraid Elf is good. Another Reality Smasher is good. Eldrazi Obligator is excellent. Lightning Bolt is excellent. Dismember is excellent. Any haste creature. Do-do-do-do-do-do. That one is real good. I've not played TFT because Riot is a bunch of jerks. You know, no one's giving me a compelling reason to try TFT, and Riot being a crappy company is reason enough to not bother. Cumulative variance, letting us draw lands last game, caught up with us. That's great. Yep. Hey, Samian, thanks for 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday night. This deck was sweet. Just like pretty simple. Very, very therapeutic. I like playing decks like this on occasion. So thoughts on what this 75 is doing. So let's take a peekaboo here. Look at that. Got our 4-1 with our points and stuff. So the best thing, the most important thing I can tell you when you're working on a new deck that you don't have a ton of familiar with is you should look at information. So this is the list we started with that came from an MTG Goldfish page. So if I was going to think about more things in this deck, I would want to click through and like look at what everybody else is doing and kind of compare what other people are playing to what we're playing. Like for instance, Cindervine sounds kind of sweet. Ooh, Goblin Rabblemaster. I guess, how do I feel about this card in terms of like, I don't know if I love this card in as creature based as Modern is. This build's playing some Cavern of Souls as opposed to Blast Zones. I could see that being okay. One thing I would like to try that doesn't look like any of these decks have tried yet that I mentioned a couple of times in that league is I think I would definitely want to try Prismatic Vista in this deck. At a glance, I think I would cut these. Nah, probably like this. I think I would play a basic Waste and then 3 Prismatic Vistas here, as opposed to these lands here. I also think I might want some Cavern of Souls over these Blast Zones, over one of these Blast Zones maybe. This Ugin seems interesting-ish, but I'm not really sure if, like, grinding is really what this deck wants to do. I also think if I wanted to play these cards, I would probably want to start both in the sideboard. Part of me wants to say this Scavenging Ooze seems like it's kind of nonsense in the main deck. Like, this card is kind of slow in the graveyard matchups in Modern, and it's not good against blue-white control. It's only okay against green-black rock. I'm not 100% sure what else I would want to play in that slot, like maybe a 4th Spellbreaker or Goblin Rabblemaster, like those other decks were playing. Something like that could be reasonable, but I feel like the Scavenging is probably leaves a bit to be desired. I don't want to go searching through the Gather and other deck lists for things to possibly replace with that. As for other thoughts, I thought this split of Abrade, Aether Vial, Engineered Explosives was really sweet. We got to see Aether Vial really kind of run rampant on the Tron matchup and clean up a Wormcoil engine really nice. Yeah, Relic in the main could be okay. Relic's a card that like draws a card, and it you could find it with Ancient Stirring, so it's a little bit more potent graveyard hate for game ones, and when you're not playing against a graveyard deck, it does still draw a card. But yeah, I think if you're someone who's a fan of smushing people in Modern, playing Tribal. Did I say Aether Vial? I meant Unravel the Aether. If you're a fan of playing Tribal Haste cards, this was a good time. What did we lose to in match 2? I don't remember. We played 2 leagues tonight, and they all kind of start to blur for me after the second. No, we beat Blue-White Control, I'm pretty sure. Blue-White Control was match 4. Did we play Blue-White twice? Mono-Red Phoenix. Yeah. Yeah, we bricked and died against Mono-Red. That is true. Yeah, they 19'd us on turn 3. Yeah, I remember that one now. Good call. That's definitely what happened. Log off and close Magic Online. For the love of God, yes. Alright, so we're going to switch to some Underlords here. Party up. Create party. Copy party code. You are a sub. I'm going to post the code in the subs Discord. As far as getting into games to play tonight, I'm going to play, let's say at least 3 games. It's only 9:30 here. I've got some time in me. It's going to be first come, first serve for the first game. And then for the second game, I'm going to keep track of who's played. So I ask that if you get in on the first game, you wait and let other people have a chance to get in on the second game. Filled up right away there. So I'm just going to take a quick picture so I know who got to play. How's Underlord viewership compared to Magic the Gathering? It's lower than Magic the Gathering on average, but it's also my most viewed non-Magic game I've ever streamed. So generally speaking, as someone who primarily streams Magic as the only game that I play, my non-Magic games that I've played in the past tend to have somewhere between 20 and 30% of my Magic viewership, and Underlords is at somewhere between 50 and 70% of my Magic numbers, it seems like.